When people talk about a Patrice Lumumba or a Kwame Nkrumah, for example, or Thomas Sankara, or even Sukarno, they always say that they were ahead of their time, but that's not true. They weren't ahead of their time. They were not revolutionary thinkers, if you know what I mean. They were just incredibly astute, mature, sensible men with a very crisp utopian in their visions. They just understood and identified exactly what had been done to Africa and what was being done to Africa. And they understood exactly what liberated. If they had been leaders in the West, no one would have called them revolutionary or even visionary. They just would have been regarded as logical, sound, rational of economics and politics and basic fairness. I'm not saying this to slight them, not at all. I'm saying this to emphasize the heinous criminality of the Western power structure and how it has dealt with Africa. Because if you were a leader in Africa in the 1950s, the 1960s, the 70s.
Pause them. Because I think right there is, for louder for people in the back, man, that's just a calibration. He is saying outright that, what you're thinking about these people is in the right direction, except your compass is off. It's common sense. You calling it visionary because it's in Africa, a place that's been beat the fuck up so bad that somebody that actually might look at it and be like, hold on, stop. This bullshit is ahead of their time. Whereas, let's say this shit was happening in Nebraska and somebody was like, hold on, stop. This is bullshit. The rest of the country would be like, yeah, you're right. That's bullshit. But it's Burkina Faso or it's the Congo. So everybody's like, oh, he's a revolutionary. This man is exactly right, dude. Please press play.
Yeah. Well, the Congo is still a mess, and
Rwanda, bro, that's for later. But oh my God, right?
Yeah. So, but it's for the same reasons, It's and the those resources that they have in the Congo are so important to the modern society. Like, we wouldn't have a lot of the stuff that we have, Trump made the deal with Ukraine for those rare earth minerals. So, and that's kind of related to the Congo in a way, also because, and also having to do with the tariffs, because China is another place where you can get those rare earth minerals, and China has the manufacturing capacity related to the chips and the magnets and so forth. And so we still going to have that problem related to the manufacturing, because nobody, as far as I know, I don't think anyone else can compete with China when it comes to the manufacturing those chips and the magnets. So, but
who's doing the manufacturing? That's why everything. Dude, we could go for days, but just real quick, China actually is having a difficulty developing that technology, and that's why they're fucking with Taiwan right now. Well, Taiwan is the guys that can make chips.
Yeah. That's the reason why we care about Taiwan. There goes the thing where we're all like, oh, China is beating up on Taiwan. We got to come and protect them. We got to save them. They deserve to have their sovereignty or whatever. They're a different country from China. Let's make sure that they're good. Like, we really care. You know what I mean? Nah, it's the chips.
An educated and united public